Hello again.
Hey!
Welcome to Spotlight on Home.
Welcome back. We took a week off because
You-
we had to recoup.
Yeah, we sure did. I hope you fared well. We fared very well.
did.
But you know, it's quite the occasion. The holidays, big family, and all that, and
All the birthdays. And...
birthdays, anniversaries, 3 birthdays, an anniversary, 2 of the biggest holidays.
Yeah. We're
All
done.
crammed into a matter of weeks, and tree's already gone.
I always take it down on New Year's Day.
New Year's Day is our
I'm
day.
ready to declutter and de-Christmas. And I appreciate the Christmas decorations. I think they're lovely, but I'm happy when they're packed away and gone. I feel like everything's easier to clean.
Yeah, we found that we set it up pretty early, in my opinion.
Well, we do it the day after Thanksgiving.
Right.
I think we've talked about this, so
Yeah.
let's not...
But now that all this stuff is out of the way, we're ready to hit our year.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like
ground
it's like
running,
a closure
yeah.
and like a new fresh start.
Right.
Like that's kind of how I always see it. But so today I thought we would talk to you about time management. I get asked a lot, like, oh my gosh, how do you do all of what you do? A lot, like a lot of moms are like, you have 8 kids. Like, how in the world do you do that? And you have a business and like,
Right.
I don't get it. Like
Right.
what, besides homeschooling and the logistics of, maintaining the home and laundry and dinner and like I don't have
Right.
laundry piles, like I don't have dirty dishes overflowing in the sink. I just like have systems for those. So I thought today I'd just teach you a few of my time management systems and you could take it and run with it. But we do have a product.
Right.
It's called the Homeschool Mom Survival Kit. I'm actually a certified health education specialist, and so I have another business called Health, Wellness, and Chocolate where I help women lose weight. So in that one, a big part of my clientele are homeschool moms as well. So I created this Homeschool Mom Survival Kit, not necessarily for weight loss, but really just like time management, stress management, how to deal with like what it looked like a day in the life of a homeschool mom. So anyway, if you're interested, we'll put the link in the show notes for that. But this is some of my tactics that I do teach. This is kind of like a little overview of one of the classes I teach in that Homeschool Mom Survival Kit.
Right. Just a little side note, real quick. I know you're under the gun here.
Well,
for
we
time.
have time.
This
Yeah,
is how we do it. We're under the gun.
We are under the gun.
We have a few things to do today. I almost feel bad sometimes when. I see women and they mean well, but they say, oh my goodness, 8 kids, how do you do it? As if it is impossible or like you obviously are coming up short in certain areas. That's not the case. It really isn't if you make the changes that are necessary and prioritize what's important
Yeah. It
in life.
requires a lot of intentionality, but it does require a lot of dying to yourself. I would love to sit on the couch and binge watch
No,
the
actually you
Gilmore
wouldn't.
Girls.
It's not your
No,
style.
I do. I know. I would, though.
But a
Alternate
good
Katie
break, you'd
would.
like the beach,
Oh, I'd love to go sit on the beach.
Well,
every week. I would.
1995, Kate still wants to take her Mazda
Sure
Miata to the
do.
beach.
That's right.
And
Yep.
but in the honor of time management, I'll shut up.
Yeah, let's go. All right, so this is one of the first things I do every Sunday, and like so this would be perfect too because it's the beginning of a month, right? So Sunday, January 2nd. I sit down and I look at my calendar and I look at it like a month ahead. Like, okay, what's coming up this month? What big events are coming up? Who's got birthdays? What's like, so for example, this Saturday coming up, I'm doing a summit with some other health educators and we're doing this whole summit thing. So I know, okay, I'm teaching a class on Saturday. We've got something going on Sunday. There's a few things next week. We're being interviewed on podcasts. So like I look at the week ahead and think like, okay, what hours do I know like I have something to do? And I kind of like, I write it all down. Like I kind of empty my brain. I don't know if you're like this, but like if you wake up at like 3 a.m. and your brain is going to remind you of things that it thinks you will think is important. And a lot of times those things, maybe they're worries or anxieties, they don't really even come to fruition. But I've learned that if I just like acknowledge my brain reminding me that this happening and just kind of dump it onto a piece of paper, write down all the thoughts I'm having, like, and it could be really silly things like, like buy more toilet paper, get more
dog
paper
food or
towels.
whatever.
Yeah, the dog is running low, or the car needs to be inspected, or, somebody needs their eyeglasses ordered, or we have to order firewood. Like, whatever it is, even if it's not necessarily an event or
Right.
whatever, I just like get it out of my head so that I'm not constantly reminded, because that is exhausting, right?
Well, I'm gonna give you a big kudos here. Like I saw you moving everything over on the calendar.
Yeah.
I caught you doing it
Yeah,
the
I
other
did. It's
day.
like, yeah, the
You
beginning
did
of the
it.
month. Yeah.
You did it ahead of time. I
Yeah.
thought it was still December. You were moving it
Oh, it
all
was,
over,
yeah,
getting
it
ready.
was the 30th.
And what this does help you do, you've already thought the stuff through, and if you give it the acknowledgement by writing it down, it doesn't have to dwell and keep you awake.
Well,
Number one.
yeah.
Number two, this way, you mentioned intentionality. We have a friend. We love her. It's not you, Becky.
Becky's like, what?
Yeah. She has a million things going on, but they're catching her by
Like she
surprise.
wakes up late.
She
Yeah.
wakes up late, starts the day late.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of her charm, but
Yeah.
it seems as if many of the things that she, even though she knows are coming, slam against her, and then she has to deal with it.
Yeah.
If we catch them first and we grab them by the horns and go, it's like life changing.
Yeah.
Completely life changing.
Yeah, you're being proactive instead of reactive to life.
Right.
And really that's kind of like what you want to be doing, instead of always just responding and reacting. You're like,
Well, then you're all exhausted all the time.
no,
And,
yeah,
you know,
and you're not
beaten down.
effective. I think
Right.
you lose your efficacy.
Right.
So, like, I consider, like, where do I need to be and when? So, for example, the kids have dentist appointments coming up, like, the third week in January. That's all written down, and, like, who's going where and what time, and then what should I be doing about school. But it's not like I wake up that morning and I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot the kids have a dentist appointment, and now we're all, you know what I mean? Like, I can adjust our schedule and understand that. Or, you know, I'm looking too, like, okay, what do I need to purchase this month? Is there birthdays coming up? Do I have to get a present? Are we going to be going out to eat for dinner? That kind of stuff. And then this is also the time at the beginning of the week where I'll think about, okay, what should we be eating for dinner or lunch this whole week coming up? Like, so, you know, take a scan of the pantry, take a scan of the fridge and the freezer, and like, okay, what ingredients do I have on hand? You know, I try to consolidate and make as few trips out as possible, because every trip out is time away, and there's gas, and there's just like, there's a toll. Like, I just,
Well,
you
we
know,
did get
like
caught
to
off guard
consolidate.
today.
And we had no cheese.
We had no cheese, and little guy was not going to not have his
He loves grilled cheese.
grilled
It's his
cheese
favorite
sandwich, and
sandwich.
it was worth the trip, but it would have been better. I could have swore I just bought some.
It felt
a
like
lot
it,
of it,
but it went fast.
It went fast with the holidays. We've all been home every morning, you know.
Yeah.
So that caught us off
Right.
guard. Not an emergency, no fluster,
Right.
but it was another trip out.
Yeah,
So,
just for that. It was
just
kind
for
of
that,
annoying.
yeah, it was
But
sort of
yeah,
sad.
it was like like an hour out of your day then was
Yeah,
just
sure.
used traveling to
Right.
get one thing and then back home. So another thing too is look for regular days of your week where they're kind of like anchor days. So for us, Wednesday nights we know is youth group. You know, like we know Fridays we have co-op. So I try, because I know like a Wednesday or a Friday we're going to be out, and my schedule is not going to be available to make some big elaborate meal. Time is not going to allow that. So I'll plan ahead then and say, okay, let's do a crock pot dinner on a Wednesday, or let's have, you know, I'll make pizza dough Friday morning before co-op, so that while we're gone, it's rising. And then when we come home, I just roll it out, throw it in the oven, and it's done. Like if I came home Friday afternoon and had no plan, which does happen, it's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to have? You know, and that's when the pull of like, you'll spend extra money then,
Eating
you know,
out.
either eating out or like getting that pizza or having the
Making a bad food decision
Yeah.
or whatever it
Yes.
is. Or what you can do on Tuesday when you know Wednesday is going to be dead to using you.
Yeah.
On Tuesday you make a great big,
Right, and then
easy,
have leftovers.
reheatable dinner. Boom,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, it's perfect. So doing that brain dump, though, is literally you write down every thought so you can see it and what you need to do. You know, is it really that important, or is it just your brain thinking, you know, like your brain can't decide what's important. Like you have to kind of be like, no, this is and this isn't. You know, it kind of weighs everything the same. So what you have to do is kind of categorize it. Can I delegate this task to somebody else? Can I just do this and get it off my plate? Is it really that important, or can I just delete it? Right? Like, so you take a look at that and just see like, okay, is this really silly? So what I do then too is like, then once I'm done kind of looking at my week ahead of time, I'll try to lump tasks together. So I always food shop on a Thursday, typically when you're not around. I'll go on a Thursday and pick up our food order from Aldi because Friday's our co-op day. And I know if I go on Thursday, I know I'll have enough snacks and enough whatever we need for Friday. So since I'm out on Thursday, if there's other things that I know I need to get or do, that's when I'll do them as well. So it's sort of like, okay, I'm not going anywhere until Thursday. And then knowing that, I kind of work backwards and say, okay, you know what? Thursdays, since I know I'm already going to be out running errands and I'm going to be picking up food shopping, I'm going to catch up on any laundry that's not done already because Friday is co-op. I want to make sure everybody's got clean clothes so we're not, searching for socks and like 5 minutes before we have to leave, all these things that I know Thursdays then. I'm not going to make plans on a Thursday. Right. I'm going to, that's kind of X'd out in my calendar of like, no, we're going to get school done and I have errands to do. And that's it. There's not going to be play dates. I'm not going to, sign up for taking field trips or things that like could put off to another day. Thursdays is kind of blacked out, so that I can prep ahead of time and make sure like we are where we need to be Friday and we're on time and everybody has food and everybody has clean clothes. And like you have to kind of look back and then plan forward.
When you do that, if so-and-so's kid says, oh, can we have a play date Thursday? You can guilt-free say, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have to do this. Not, you will be less tempted to be like, well, let me see. And the next thing you know, you're running to the grocery store with somebody else's kid, but they got to be back at a certain time. No, all that nonsense is done.
Yeah, it just gives you boundaries.
Call me on Tuesday, or whatever it is. Wait till Saturday.
Right.
I'd love to have you, but you have a life to run. You have your first responsibility is your children and the running and the maintenance of your home. And if you can't do that, you really don't have any business having a play date anyway. Right.
And then once you start to do this a few times, you'll notice there's like a natural rhythm to your week and your day. And then planning really it's not as hard as it sounds. Initially it might take time for you to get your own rhythm going, but it's not as hard as it sounds. And then you'll be able to kind of see like, okay, pockets of time, like, when, I'm home all day Mondays. And so we're going to do a deep clean on a Monday. So for us, Saturday mornings is kind of when we do a home reset deep clean, right? Like that's our home time. That's, I don't know, just everybody's kind of home.
No one typically has anywhere to be.
I've always kind of kept Saturday secret in that way. So like that's when our deep clean happens. And then every day at like 5, we try to do a quick pickup and like give the whole house. I mean, some people call it like the little blessing and stuff like that. But once you do this and you notice this natural rhythm and you can kind of just plan ahead as much as possible, it will reduce a lot of your stress, but it will also reduce a lot of this decision fatigue. Mm-hmm. Really smart people have like 5 shirts of the same color and 5 pants of the same color, and they'll just wear them. Like they're changing their clothes and they're clean, but they don't have to make the decision of like, what wardrobe am I going to have? What's going to go with what? Like they don't have to do that because they've already made the decisions ahead of time and they're just following through on their plan. But that helps so much. And so another thing too is planning the meals, which we've talked about on another podcast, but that helps too, making sure your family gets nourishing meals ahead of time by planning it out. And not, my one friend, she says, oh, I'm always going to the store every day. Like she's always doing that, but it uses up a lot of time and she's always feeling overwhelmed. So if that's you and you're always feeling like you just can't ever catch up, I would say like stop and then just start like filtering, all these things and then
write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Right. So one of the things we have is a master list of all the groceries that we buy so that and we can kind of scroll through it. We put it on our phone in a shared notes document and we can kind of like look at it and scroll through it and think, okay, is there anything else I need to get? And then only go to the store and do a huge food order every once in a while, as opposed to every day getting a little thing. It's one is current and one is a stock.
The master and then the current. Like, the master is like everything you'd ever buy, including weird holiday specials.
Light bulbs and what I mean? Too, like things like you might not think of, but then it's like,
what did I not get last year? And you can scroll through and say, oh yeah, I need the turkey-shaped butter.
Right.
Which, ladies and gentlemen, buy it in October if you can get it, because you could not get it in November.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so planning ahead, it also makes the chances that the day is going to get away from you, and then you find yourself like behind that 8 ball. It eliminates that, and so it just saves you time. And because you only have a certain amount of emotional energy every day, and I think educating your children is really kind of taxing enough. And it does use a lot of your emotional energy. So like if you're constantly having to think of all the other logistics. So for example, start paying attention to the natural rhythms in your day. So like when I get up, I'll put my tea water on to boil, and while it's boiling, I'll unload the dishwasher. Or I'll load the dishwasher. And then when I go spend time in my morning devotion, the dishwasher is running so that by the time breakfast is over and now I have dirty breakfast dishes in the sink, the dishwasher is done. I unload it, and then all the dirty dishes go in it, and it's ready for the rest of the dirty dishes throughout the day. And then once it's full by the next morning, I run it again. And it's just like a routine that we get into. But it makes sure that I'm not constantly hunting for clean plates, and I'm not constantly hunting for clean glass or forks and spoons and all those things. And so it doesn't take long. I think if you always think about it mentally, our brain makes it seem harder. But the amount of time it takes to boil a pot of water, the dishwasher is full. I got it running.
Right.
Like that's just one system that never breaks down. Another one is laundry. I know if I throw in a load of laundry right before morning time, and then when morning time is over and like maybe before I come up to work at 10, I can switch it over into the dryer and maybe start another load. Like if I do 2 loads of laundry a day, then fold it or wait and have 6 loads to fold at once. I never really fall behind on laundry. Like everybody's got pretty much clean clothes. Right. But these are like natural rhythms that I developed that work for us, but I'm never overwhelmed. So if a stomach bug hits or kids get sick or I don't feel well or I have extra work to do with podcast interviews or something, it's not overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like I'm always staying ahead.
If for those, Kate's always been really good about it. I am not as good about it. But if you can take one small thing, dads in particular, ask your wife, what one thing could I do? Maybe on your way home from work, one day a week where you're not going to miss dinner or whatever it is. Some chore that maybe could be accomplished from out that you could alleviate. One thing. Maybe that one thing that might have been keeping her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Happy wife, happy life. See what you can do. Since you're out already. I'm not asking you to, take another trip. If you're already out doing something, ask, what one thing can I do this time, this week, or every week, or every day, or whatever it is. And secondly, for those that it's the beginning of the year, we're all about the revolution.
The revolution.
I can see I'm not really a resolution kind of guy, but soon. If you're already pretty good, make one more baby step. Instead of being the person who has a laundry pile that's dirty, be the person who has the laundry pile that's clean.
That's me.
That is you. It's clean and it's for the most part folded pretty diligently. Yeah. But just make that one shift because it doesn't really cost you anything extra. You're going to wash the dirty pile eventually anyway. But trim that dirty pile down. I know some people in the basement, they got this giant pile of dirty clothes and they pick off at what they want and wash as they need. Yeah. Do the whole pile and maintain a clean pile, and then tell all these kids to go fold their own stuff or whatever it is, depending on their age. Obviously,
if they can work video games, they can work a washer and dryer.
That's true.
You can teach them.
If they can open your phone, 10 and older, no doubt. And some of them quite a bit younger, they can figure out these. I'm to the point now where they want to get in certain apps. I don't even know how. You do it, and then I'll just pay for it. Really, is what it boils down to. Make one conscious shift. Be a dirty pile person to a clean pile person.
Especially if you're overwhelmed. Like if you are overwhelmed and really struggling and feel like you're drowning, those little shifts will make the difference. And it may make the difference between you deciding to stick with homeschooling or not. Because I think, homeschooling isn't a big deal, but I think it gets blamed for a lot of the lack of management on the back end of a lot of things. And so it's like, well, ever since I started homeschooling, the house is a mess and the laundry's not done. And, yes, your systems were probably interrupted with your kids being home with you full time. You just need to learn new systems. And once you learn them, the homeschooling and the laundry and like, you just need a better system. The system that you're using, even if you don't think you have one, you do. It's just not working for you.
It just might suck.
Yeah, yeah. And so, like, you just need to learn a new system, which is actually like the Homeschool Mom Survival Kit. That's what I teach, is like the systems of how to have your homeschool running smoothly. So if this sounds like it could be helpful to you, check it out. It's actually, I'll put the link in. It's my other business, which is healthwellnessandchocolate.com. And it's the Homeschool Mom Survival Kit, but we'll put the link in directly to it. So if you click on it and you're wondering, wait a second, why doesn't this say Spotlight on Home? Maybe I clicked on something wrong.
It's just a resource we already had.
Yeah, it's already existing. And it's just like, it's ready right away. I've got over 500 women who've been in it so far. So
we don't care if it's a conflict of interest.
Yes, whatever. So you could check it out, though. I think you'll find it helpful, especially if you're new to it and you need some help with it.
Right.
But,
baby steps. Yeah.
But
something, even if it's
always
just a
be
baby
improving,
step. Always
right?
be improving,
Kaizen.
right?
Yeah.
That's right. I had the note over here yesterday. I was looking.
All right, that's it.
Yep.
I hear our baby.
Yeah, the baby was already
He's starting to
chamming
lose his
around down
patience.
there.
So have an awesome week, guys.
Happy New Year. Thanks.
Thanks for being with us.
Being with us. Yes. All right. Very
and
good.
Laughing with us and spending the year with us. It's an honor, really.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's a lot of
total
podcasts
privilege.
you can be,
Share us with your friends.
I'd love
if you've gotten
that.
anything out of
please.
this, please share it with your friends. I don't know, Facebook if you still use it or whatever.
Especially moms.
Text it to a friend, because that might actually mean a little bit more. Say, hey, these two knuckleheads, they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're doing it. They're like us, and they're doing it.
Yeah. They're just normies trying to get through it. But
Very good.
we'll just share with you what we have.
Take care, everyone.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.